Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt the sting of being invisible to someone who once made you feel like you were the center of their universe? One day you're everything, the next you're nothing but silence, no texts, no calls, just a cold, lingering absence that leaves you questioning your worth. You keep staring at your phone, replaying old messages, rereading conversations, convincing yourself that maybe you're overthinking it, that he's just busy, that maybe he didn't see your message, that he'll come back. But deep down, in the quietest corners of your heart, you know something's changed, and it hurts. We don't talk about this enough, the pain of being ignored. It's not a breakup. There's no clear closure. It's just an emotional vanishing act. And what makes it worse is how it slowly eats away at your confidence, your peace, your self-worth. You begin to think, what did I do wrong? You question yourself endlessly. Was I too much? Was I not enough? And worst of all, you begin to internalize his silence as a sign that you are somehow unworthy of love, attention, or effort. But let me tell you something, his silence is not your shame. His decision to ignore you says more about him than it ever will about you. And while the silence may seem unbearable, it's also your loudest invitation to rise. To stop waiting for a message that may never come and start writing a new chapter that doesn't require his presence. If he's ignoring you, I'm not going to tell you to wait patiently. I'm not going to tell you to reach out again and again until he acknowledges your existence. I'm going to tell you the exact opposite. Because your healing, your growth, your dignity begins the moment you stop chasing and start choosing yourself. What most people don't realize is that being ignored can be one of the most powerful turning points in your life, if you allow it to be. When someone stops seeing your value, it is your cue to start seeing it for yourself. This is not the time to shrink or become small, hoping he'll notice your absence. This is the time to become so undeniably full of your own light that his silence no longer darkens your spirit. You are not here to beg for crumbs of attention. You are here to live a life so rich in self-respect that the people who don't appreciate you naturally fall away. When someone you care about begins to ignore you, your first instinct might be to prove your worth, to remind him of all the reasons he should care. But don't. Don't cheapen your value by handing it over to someone who clearly doesn't see it. Let him wonder. Let him sit with the absence of your energy. Because silence speaks louder than words when it's backed by self-respect. And here's the truth. If someone can so easily disregard you, they were never meant to be your forever. They were a lesson, a mirror, a redirection. Think of the energy you've spent worrying, analyzing, and overthinking. Now imagine redirecting that same energy toward yourself, toward healing, toward growing, toward becoming the kind of woman who no longer waits to be chosen, because she already chose herself. Do you know how powerful that is? To shift from chasing someone's attention to commanding your own presence? That's not just growth. That's liberation. Here's the thing no one tells you. Love should never feel like a guessing game. If someone wants you, you'll know. If someone values you, you won't have to chase their attention. If someone sees your worth, they will match your effort. The gray area, the confusion, the silence, that's your answer. If he's ignoring you, don't give him the satisfaction of knowing it got to you. Let your silence be louder than your pain. Not because you're pretending not to care, but because you're choosing your peace over a person who couldn't even send a reply. Here's the thing no one tells you. Love should never feel like a guessing game. If someone wants you, you'll know. If someone values you, you won't have to chase their attention. If someone sees your worth, they will match your effort. The gray area, the confusion, the silence, that's your answer. If he's ignoring you, Don't give him the satisfaction of knowing it got to you. Let your silence be louder than your pain, not because you're pretending not to care, but because you're choosing your peace over a person who couldn't even send a reply. And maybe it's not just about him, maybe it's about what you've accepted for far too long. Maybe you've been conditioned to think that love requires suffering, that affection must be earned, that attention is a reward. But I'm here to tell you, that's a lie. Real love doesn't punish you with silence. Real love doesn't leave you feeling confused, unworthy, or desperate. Real love shows up, it communicates, it respects, it values, but none of that will come into your life if you're still clinging to someone who chooses silence over clarity. So if he ignores you, don't wait, don't dwell, don't beg. Step back, not to make him miss you, not to manipulate the outcome, but because you deserve the kind of love that doesn't make you question if you're enough. Because you are. You see, the moment you stop giving someone the power to define your worth is the moment you start reclaiming your life. You become a force. You stop being the woman who waits by the phone and start being the woman who walks into rooms with her head high and spirit unbothered. That's the kind of woman no one forgets. That's the kind of woman who doesn't need to be loud to be heard, because her silence demands attention. You don't have to post your pain on social media. You don't have to send that last message. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. All you have to do is move forward, gracefully, powerfully, and unapologetically. Let him wonder what happened to the girl who used to try so hard. Let him sit in the silence he created while you rise in the peace you claimed. And let's be honest, sometimes the person ignoring you is doing you the biggest favor. They're removing themselves from your life before they could cause more damage. They're exposing who they truly are, and while it hurts, it also reveals what you truly deserve. So don't chase. Don't lower your standards to fit into someone else's inconsistency. Instead, raise your energy so high that only those who genuinely value you can reach it. Remember this, you're not hard to love. You're not too emotional, too sensitive, too needy. You're human. You crave connection. You crave clarity. You crave consistency. And those are not weaknesses. Those are your standards. And if someone can't meet them, let them go. It's time to rewrite the story. No more begging for love. No more accepting silence as an answer. No more waiting for someone else to decide your worth. If he ignores you, do this. Take a deep breath, hold your head up, and walk away with grace. Don't look back. Not because you hate him, not because you're angry, but because you finally realize that you deserve someone who doesn't make you feel like an afterthought. Sometimes the silence you're given is the space you need to hear your own voice again, to remember who you were before you started molding yourself to fit into someone else's world. You are not meant to be an echo of someone's affection. You are meant to be a whole, radiant, powerful woman in your own right. If you feel like crying, cry. If your heart aches, let it. But don't stay there. Use every tear, every ache, every quiet moment to rebuild yourself stronger than before. And when you do, you look back on this silence not as a wound, but as a turning point. A moment that taught you to stop begging and start becoming. He may have ignored you, but you didn't ignore yourself. And that is where true power lies. So the next time someone chooses silence over you, choose yourself. The next time you feel unseen, make it your mission to see yourself clearly. And the next time someone disappears, let them. You're not here to convince anyone of your value. You're here to live in such a way that your value speaks for itself. Don't waste another second trying to get back someone who couldn't appreciate what they had when they had it. Let your silence be the closure. Let your healing be the revenge. Let your peace be the proof. And let your growth be the loudest thing they hear when they finally realize what they lost. You don't need his validation, you don't need his attention, and you definitely don't need his silence to break you. You are whole, you are powerful, you are worthy, and you will rise. So if he ignores you, do this. Walk away, stand tall, and never let your heart beg for the bare minimum again.